Hello, everyone. Picture this. You're sitting with your grandmother at the kitchen table, the one who's always been sharp as a tack, remembering every birthday and family story down to the tiniest detail. But lately, she's fumbling for words, forgetting where she put her glasses, or even mixing up your name with your siblings. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? And what if I told you that some of the everyday pills she's been taking for years, ones prescribed for allergies, sleep, or even bladder issues, could be speeding up that mental fog, pushing her toward dementia faster than anyone imagined? As a senior care physician with over 25 years in the field, I've seen this play out too many times, and it hits me right in the gut, every single one. It's not just statistics. It's real lives, real families, torn apart by something we might prevent. Where are you watching from? And how old are you? Tell me in the comments. Let's connect on this, because sharing our stories could help someone else avoid this pain. I'm Dr. Michael Harris, and welcome back to Senior Meds, where we dive deep into the health topics that matter most to you as you navigate your golden years. Today, we're tackling a tough but crucial subject: 9 popular medications that research has linked to an increased risk of rapid dementia in seniors. Now, I want to be clear right from the start. This isn't about scaring you into tossing your pills out the window. No, absolutely not. Many of these drugs help millions manage chronic conditions, but the key is awareness. Studies from places like Harvard Health and the Journal of the American Medical Association have shown that long-term use of certain meds can interfere with brain chemistry, leading to cognitive decline. I've had patients come to me confused and frightened, only to discover a medication tweak made all the difference. So, let's walk through these 9 together like we're chatting over coffee, and I'll share some real-life insights from my practice to make this hit home. First up is diphenhydramine, the active ingredient in Benadryl and many over-the-counter sleep aids. You know, that stuff you grab for allergies or a restless night? It's an anticholinergic drug, which means it blocks a chemical called acetylcholine in your brain, a key player in memory and learning. A landmark study in JAMA Internal Medicine followed over 3,000 seniors and found that those taking high doses of anticholinergics like this for 3 years or more had a 50% higher risk of developing dementia. I remember a patient named Evelyn in her late 70s who relied on Benadryl every night to sleep. She started noticing word-finding troubles during our chats, and after we switched her to a non-drowsy alternative like loratadine for allergies, her clarity improved noticeably. It's those little changes that can add up to big protections for your brain. Speaking of anticholinergics, let's move to oxybutynin, often prescribed for overactive bladder under names like ditropan. This one hits seniors hard because urinary issues are so common as we age, and who wants to deal with that discomfort? But the same acetylcholine blocking effect applies here. Research from the Alzheimer's Association highlights how drugs like oxybutynin can accumulate in the body over time, potentially accelerating plaque buildup in the brain associated with Alzheimer's. In my clinic, I've seen folks like Mr. Thompson, an 82-year-old veteran, who was on this for years and began experiencing confusion during daily routines. We explored options like mirabegron, which doesn't cross into the brain as easily, and it was like lifting a veil. He was back to his crossword puzzles in no time. It's stories like his that remind me why we need to question long-term scripts. Another in this anticholinergic family is tolterodine, sold as Detrol, also for bladder control. Similar mechanism, same risks. A Swedish study published in the British Medical Journal tracked thousands of older adults and linked cumulative exposure to these drugs with a heightened dementia incidence. What gets me is how these meds are often started for one problem, but linger on without review. Take my patient Rosa, 75, who was juggling multiple scripts after a hospital stay. She confided in me about forgetting appointments, which wasn't like her. After deprescribing tolterodine and opting for behavioral therapies like pelvic floor exercises, she felt more in control, not just of her bladder, but her mind too. It's empowering when patients reclaim that sharpness. Shifting gears a bit, but staying in the realm of brain-altering meds, we have amitriptyline, a tricyclic antidepressant like Evelyn, sometimes used for pain or sleep in seniors. This one's got strong anticholinergic properties too, and studies from the National Institutes of Health show it can disrupt neural pathways over time, raising dementia odds by up to 30% in long-term users. I think of Harold, a retired teacher in his 80s, prescribed this for neuropathic pain from diabetes. He started repeating stories at family gatherings, breaking his wife's heart. We transitioned him to something like duloxetine, which has a better profile for cognition, and the difference was night and day. He was engaging in debates again, just like old times. These shifts aren't always easy, but they're worth it for that spark of life. Now, benzodiazepines like lorazepam, Ativan is the brand name, often given for anxiety or insomnia. These calm the brain by boosting GABA, a relaxing chemical, but chronic use can lead to dependency and cognitive fog. Harvard researchers have connected long-term benzo use to a doubled risk of Alzheimer's in seniors. It's insidious because it starts as a quick fix. I had a patient, Margaret, 78, who took it sporadically after losing her husband, but it became nightly. She noticed her memory slipping, like misplacing keys constantly. We tapered her off slowly with therapy support, and she regained her confidence. If you're on this, talk to your doc about alternatives like cognitive behavioral therapy. It's gentler on the brain. Similarly, diazepam or Valium, another benzo, shares those risks. A large Danish study in the BMJ found that even short courses in older adults could spike dementia chances, especially with repeated use. It's prescribed for muscle spasms or seizures sometimes, but the brain pays a price. Remember John, my 81-year-old golfer patient? He used it for back spasms, but then struggled recalling scores mid-game. Switching to physical therapy and non-benzo relaxants helped him stay on the course mentally sharp. These stories drive home how meds meant to help can sometimes hinder if not monitored. Antipsychotics like haloperidol, Haldol, prescribed for agitation or delusions in seniors, often in dementia care, ironically. But evidence from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society shows they can worsen cognitive decline rapidly. The black box warning is there for a reason: increased mortality and dementia progression. In my experience with patients like Clara, 84, who was given this during a hospital delirium episode, we saw her confusion deepen. Deprescribing and using non-drug approaches like music therapy turned things around. It's a reminder to advocate for the least invasive options first. Opioids, such as codeine or oxycodone, for pain management. These bind to brain receptors and, per a study in JAMA Neurology, long-term use in seniors links to higher dementia risk through inflammation and reduced brain activity. Pain is real, but so are alternatives. My patient Frank, 79, post-surgery, was on opioids and started zoning out during conversations. We moved to acetaminophen with physical therapy, and he was back to his woodworking hobby, mind intact. It's about balancing relief with long-term health. Finally, proton pump inhibitors like omeprazole, Prilosec, for acid reflux. While evidence is mixed, some large studies in the archives of neurology suggest prolonged use depletes vitamin B12, crucial for brain health, potentially accelerating dementia. I've seen it with patients like Susan, 76, on this for years without need. Switching to lifestyle changes like diet tweaks cleared her occasional heartburn and her mental haze. Always reassess if you still need it. Ooh, that's our 9. Diphenhydramine, oxybutynin, tolterodine, amitriptyline, lorazepam, diazepam, haloperidol, opioids like codeine, and omeprazole. The thread through all this? Many interfere with brain signaling or cause deficiencies over time. But here's the hopeful part. Knowledge is power. If you're on any of these, don't panic. Schedule a chat with your doctor about risks versus benefits, possible alternatives, or deprescribing safely. Regular cognitive checkups can catch issues early too. In my practice, I've witnessed so many turnarounds just by making informed tweaks. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button. It helps spread the word to others who need it. and subscribe to Senior Meds for more straight-talk health advice tailored for seniors. Share this with a loved one. You might save their clarity. Now back to our conversation. Where are you watching from, and how old are you? Drop it in the comments below. I'll pin the top one to spark more shares. And let's get discussing. What meds have you questioned, or what changes have you made? Your experiences could guide someone else. Engage with each other. Build that community support. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay healthy. See you next time.